Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Swarmstead Bees Gardening Live. Sorry, it's a little late for me here. It's a little after 9 p.m. I'm normally in bed by now, but I said I was going to make a video tonight about uh, some stuff on Instagram. Instagram's a friggin' dump. Instagram beekeepers are the worst. Not just the regular everyday people showing off a little bit of their bee stuff, but these professor types, these weird, just know-it-all beekeepers on Instagram. They stink. What's up, Rodney? So just for the hell of it, make a little bit of a. I'm gonna just kind of talk about just one instance of what goes on over there. I seem to piss off somebody from New Zealand, some beekeeper over there. um, hey, what's up? Everybody coming on in. How you doing? Yeah, beekeepers are the worst. I think that's the title I have on here. We are the worst. We're the worst fucking people ever. But Instagram beekeepers peepers are the worst of the worst. They're worse than YouTube garbage. They're worse than Facebook. They're just overall terrible. There's a couple good ones who are just they happen to have Instagram accounts, but the ones that are just mostly Instagram are just real garbage. But here, so what I have up here on the screen is actually, you can see the video playing in the background. That's actually my video. No, harmless little dumb video. Me catching a swarm, big deal. Came out of a tree. It's the same video I put on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. I think I put on TikTok. It's just the same recycled video. Not really doing much, just a very typical swarm catch. And of course, I always got to poke a little bit of fun. I said something about, let's see, where's my, I'll scroll up here to my thing that just pisses, I guess, these treaters off. I said supposedly feral bees die every year without beekeeper intervention, treatments, and feeding. Beekeepers who say that are incorrect, ignorant, and or dum-dums. Just goofing around. Who the hell calls anybody a dum-dum? That's like a 5-year-old thing to say. So there's a couple people comment, they know of a feral colony, but over here we're used to it in the United States, I guess, and pretty much every goddamn where except for New Zealand, I guess. New Zealand's the only place in the world where just everything dies. You really don't see a whole lot of. I don't see a lot of New Zealand content on YouTube or Facebook. I don't know what's up with that country. The only ones I do see are hardcore treaters, and I think I picture New Zealand as like this very beautiful, like just scenic, wild, just as beautiful, like tropical place. But I could be wrong. It might just be a giant fucking parking lot with some buildings, I guess. I could have it totally wrong, and it's just a barren desert landscape with nowhere for bees to live. Because that's about the only way I could see that there's absolutely nowhere for feral bees to live. And for someone to be able to correctly claim that there's just no feral bees anywhere. They just know the whole entire landscape. The whole what is that? Is that the islands? A couple land masses. They know every square inch of the land mass. So let's go into the comments. Here comes Sarah C's Bees, who I'm a mutual with on Instagram. Always been friendly with, just a normal ass, just like friends on Facebook. No, we don't really talk. Basically nothing wrong. Just follow each other because we're both mess with bees a lot. Okay. I don't know how long she's been messing with bees or to what extent. It doesn't matter. It's totally irrelevant. But she comes in, chiming in like a normal person. Depends what country you're in. Here in New Zealand, we have Apis mellifera bees. We also have Varroa destructor. Without treatment for Varroa, honeybee colonies in New Zealand die within a year or two. We have no long-term feral colonies anymore. We used to, but Varroa wiped them out. So there's these emojis, there's crying, there's tears, red flag immediately. Immediate red flag that somebody is just, I don't know. When I see people using crying, sad emojis, I just think of the pussification of beekeeping that's been going on ever since I started, and even more today. Just this constant crying about everything. But every sentence of what I just read is very typical. Everything you hear, here also. But yeah, we have Apis mellifera bees too. Everybody has that. We also have Varroa destructor. Yeah, we have that. That's what we have. And without treatment, yeah, some of our bees die here too. But even with treatment, a lot of bees die here too. So there's nothing in New Zealand is sounding novel to me. It's just the normal same shit we hear all the time, and same people say the same dumb shit here, and they're dead wrong too. And I think that's what I said. I said here you can read. Can you still see this up there? Yeah, if you want to see it, I'm just gonna read along for anybody that's not looking at the screen. And I responded, I'm in the U.S. We have the same bees as you and the same mites. I really just don't feel like I have to say Varroa destructor every time I fucking talk about mites. You can just say mites, people. We're not going to think you're talking about tracheal mites or pollen mites or any other type. Just, you don't have to say Varroa destructor like it sounds idiotic. And then you might as well say Varroa jacobsonii too. Like, just if you're going to say the whole name, just say everything. And then I said, people say there are no feral colonies here too, and they're wrong too. It's just talking facts here. There's feral colonies here. I've never treated my bees ever. I know feral colonies that have just been there for years and years. No, they can't be there forever, of course, you fucking dummies, because of course the comb gets old. Of course, sometimes when they swarm, they don't requeen and they dwindle and they die, just like any colony that you would have that you just might abandon and just not fix it the way beekeepers do. Feral colonies don't have somebody to fix every problem, so of course they're gonna die at a higher rate or just fail for some reason. So then I point out that also, because I always got to throw an also in there. There's no such thing as wiped out all the feral colonies, because feral colonies are replenished when beekeepers swarms escape them. So that's another thing. I say it all the time, but treaters don't think sometimes. This treater does not think. From the beginning of time of beekeeping on whatever continent or island or whatever you're on, bees are going to get away. That's the fucking feral population. When it gets away, and then people recatch them, and then they catch some swarms out of trees, and then those swarms get away. It's just a constant fucking revolving door, you dumbasses. It's not just like there's feral bees that are separate from the bees that are in hives. They're not like this separate population and they're mysteries to each other. They mix and mingle, and they're like me. All my bees are from feral colonies, and then feral colonies are also all from bees that escape. Like, it's so. Are people just dumb? Is that what it is? So you can't just say it wiped out all the feral colonies, because if it wiped out all the feral colonies, it would have wiped out all the kept colonies, because kept colonies had no defense either. So I don't know why people think that box hives are going to do better than bees that are healthy and left alone. And Lex down here is saying exactly what the hell I said. Because these dummies, everything dies. They're going to die no matter what. So just dying, people got to just toughen up a little bit. Like, I don't know what the hell you got to do. So, Sarah C's B says, true, but these do not survive. I've worked in apiculture science for 8 years, and we've tracked a huge number of feral. This is just words. you can't just. This is just such general speech, just assertions. Oh, they just don't survive. You don't fucking know. You don't know what survives. You're not Tom Seeley out there following the whole country. I don't know how big New Zealand is, but when I looked it up just very briefly, yeah, it's not that big, but it's like a couple. It's about the size of a couple states over here. I can't even keep track of all the feral colonies in my little town. It's a lot. So now imagine the actual county. There's no way anybody could keep track of all the feral colonies in my county, in Berks County, Pennsylvania. You'd be running around all day, every day. It would be a full-time job for many people. Now think of the whole state. Fuck no. No one's keeping track of all the feral colonies in the whole state. And now New Zealand is like a couple states. So I'm not going to take the word of one person who claims to be in apiculture science for 8 years. What does that even mean? Just in apiculture science. I don't know. But it gets better. I mean, I'm just warming up here. Wait till we go over to her page. And you can, anybody who wants to go over to Sarah C's Beast, tell her I'm live right now. Come on over. Oh, look at this. Hold on. Let me see what Lex said. Lex used to live in New Zealand. The island is large, but very sparsely populated. Especially. So, I wish I would have known you lived there before. I could have had you on. But so sparsely populated, hopefully you mean by humans. So, that definitely does not help somebody keep track of all the population of bees. I don't know what kind of trees they have there, if they get hollow, and what kind of cavities they have for bees to move into. But most beekeepers, Instagram beekeepers, are just so gullible, and they'll just believe someone that has a flashy Instagram page. Like, whatever. But let me keep moving along because I do want to get to bed eventually. So just assertions, they don't survive. They just don't survive. Even though a little bit up further, she said, don't survive for more than 1 or 2 years. Well, which one is it? They don't survive more than 1 year or more than 2 years? Or is 2 years normal? Because I can tell you that over the period of 2 years, my tree trunk colony that survived for 3 winters and 4 seasons straight, let's just go with 2 years. It could swarm 7 times in the first year because it was very big. And by the end of that same year, probably 3 of those swarms would swarm themselves also. So now you're talking about 1 colony turning into 11 colonies. By the next year, let's just say half died. Let's say more than half died. Let's just say 5 survived into the next year. Those 5 could swarm 5 more times. Let's go with a low number of 5, okay? So now you got those 5 turning into 5 swarms each. You're turning into 30 colonies in 2 years. So yet again, another treating goofy beekeeper saying that they're dead in 2 years. Well, what the fuck? They turned into 30 colonies in 2 years. What does it matter if that first one is dead in 2 years? Just dumb. They just keep saying the same dumb stuff over and over. So Sarah C's Bees says, before Varroa came to New Zealand in 2000, we had to just kind of like throwing the subject off, gonna get on story time here, which a lot of people do. They get to story time. In 2000, we had the British black bee. Okay, they were wiped out by Varroa. Well, I've actually seen some people. I mean, I kind of looked into it a little bit over the past day to see that some people in New Zealand were talking about they still do have that, but the British black bee, and some other countries that said that they had them and then they were gone, or finding them again, or finding their genetics still in the gene pool. So the credibility shot. I don't believe anything now, so I don't know if the black bee is there or not. But if not, that's selection right there. They're gone. They couldn't hack it. They'd be gone. She goes on to say, we had many feral colonies living for years in trees, logs, and sheds. We no longer have those. They don't last more than 18 months. So now we're at 18 months. And that's a weird time, too, 18 months, because January, let's say, I don't know when the hell their summer is, probably in the winter time. So then they would go a year and a half and then die where? In the middle of summer? Or in the middle of winter? I don't know. It's just weird generalization talk. That's always sounds goofy to me. As someone who goes out there and sees feral colonies living for years and years and removes them, even one that I just removed the other day from a tree that was brought down, the combs inside were so black and so old, but they were in constant use. You could tell if bees weren't on them, they would have got eaten up. Quickly, they would have got eaten up by wax moths. But bees were on them for a long, consecutive years, for a long time. That's how black and old these combs were. But I hear all the time, oh, the bees just die every year in the tree. That was the whole point of my stupid caption for that video that got this person all up on the high horse. So then, of course, I hit him. I hit him with the, would you like to come on my channel podcast and discuss this with me? That's what I say to everybody. I say this to everybody that gets all goofy with me in comment section, gets all preachy to me. And they always say, yeah, they will. And then they never do. But I had faith in this one because at this point, we were still like on good terms. I was just kind of trying to answer all these goofy statements. So she says, oh, can I bring on Dr. Mark Goodwin? I don't know who the fuck that is. I looked it up. Let me see his comments here. Lex says, who's been in New Zealand? It'd be very hard to track the colonies, just like you're saying. Lots of evergreen trees in the South Island. The odds that feral bees are all gone are poor. I mean, it's big. If it's the size of two average United States, so maybe like Pennsylvania, my state, and Georgia or something, it's a lot. It's big. No one person can make a claim of what there isn't or is. So this person, my stupid mouse ain't working. I gotta scroll here. Ask, can they bring a doctor on? I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter what PhD, what doctor, what scientist you bring on. They're not arguing with me. They're arguing with obvious facts, and they're arguing with selection and evolution, which is just a losing position. But I say, sure. Is there something I can read about what he does? Then I do find the channel, which it escapes me now. I don't really. She says, I think it might be more important to look up his science work. He wrote the AFB manual and the Varroa manual for New Zealand and has published papers. He's a commercial beekeeping scientist, what it looks like to me. I did find some channel of his or theirs, and every video is about varroa mites, how to treat. Every single video has something to do with varroa mites and commercial beekeeping. It's just like every single one. I wouldn't expect someone like that to ever think. I just don't understand how these scientists, these people don't support selecting for survival of untreated. They just keep pushing this constant treat until your bees are so helpless as New Zealand bees. Oh, so then here's the part, the gotcha, I guess. Sarah C's Bees says, do you treat your colonies for varroa? I don't know how anybody can follow me on anything, on any platform, and not know that I don't treat my bees. Like, that would be like not knowing that I wear a hat. Holy shit. Like, I'm so clear about it. I don't treat bees. I'm constantly bashing, not bashing, but poking fun at treaters and stupid treater positions. But she asked me, do you treat your colonies? And there's no reason to do a whole story time. My answer is no. I hate this damn mouse. So this weird reply here, as you can see here. Whoa! Like, whoa, what the fuck? That's very different Darby's. No treatment equals death. This has been proven in every single scientific trial here. Like, wow, first of all, calm down. Calm down, ma'am. I've been doing this like for a while. I wouldn't keep doing it if it just equaled death all the time. Maybe it's, I don't know why it'd be different over there. You have the same bees, you have the same mites. Maybe you've been dealing with it a little bit less time. That's about the only position you have there, but anybody can learn from what we're going through. There's just a ton of treatment for beekeepers everywhere who are doing fine. Some don't know what the hell they're doing, just like treaters, but it's just such a, and they already had, she says, this has been proven in every single scientific trial. So, okay. So I say, are there links to these trials? And I put my email address there. I just never got any. I didn't get any. I mean, it hasn't been that long. I'll give her that. But what's the trial going to be? Just like another Robin Underwood trial? Is it just going to be a bunch of treaters going through the motions, like thinking that they're doing something just by just some crappy research, just total garbage? I don't know. What they do, get a whole bunch of treaters together, get a queen from their friend, waste $1 million. Who knows what they did, but I don't see any links to anything, but maybe I'll eventually get it, and I'll be right back on here. So here we go with the emojis again. This very, can you guys see this? I'm not going to let my bees die if I can help it! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, emojis. Yeah, see, I can't see a person like that doing research. You got too many emotions. You can't keep it together. You're breaking down in the comment section. You can't. This reminds me of that other lady I talked about on my podcast. I'm just forgetting her name. I'm getting old, but all that emotion about selection is no good for the bees themselves. Like for the future of honeybees, if their future is threatened, you just can't keep throwing the weak ones back in there. But all this weird emojis, I don't know. It's a red flag of just wimpifying beekeeping. This sad music crying about every time you see mites. I think that's the bottom of that one. Okay, so I think that's the end of it. At that point, that was the end of it to me. I said, okay, I'm gonna wait till this beekeeper and their doctor friend just let me know what time we can meet on this right here, like when we can meet, because the time difference and everything, we'll have to work something out. If I got to wake up in the middle of the night or get up early, whatever, no big deal. But then that's not the end of it, because I wake up this morning and I see this. Hold on, let me scroll down here. I'm not tagged or anything. I just see, look at all this. This is what you call an Instagram beekeeper account. Just all this weird editing, and it's just over edited crap, really, in my opinion. But this one here, let me click on this one. Can you see that? Okay, so that's the comment section we were just looking at. But it has my name covered out. Like, what the fuck? Are you trying to protect me? Like, have we met? I don't need to be protected from anybody. But I'm not tagged or anything. I guess that, I don't know what she's hiding her viewers from me. She doesn't want them to get influenced by my hey Runny, by my like weird way of beekeeping that so many people do. So she posts, and she only screenshot this part that asks, "Do you treat?" No. And then all this has crying emojis. No treatment equals death. And then just covers up my name. It's like very strange, just weird. Like, were we gonna have a conversation? What? Post this to get, I don't know what kind of reactions, but only got a couple comments, but they're very interesting. So we're gonna go over those real quick. But her caption is, "This is why you need to research where your information is coming from. Is it from your country? Is it from your climate? Is it from a reputable source? Can you fact check it on your own?" What exact information was I spreading? Just that selection exists, it's a real thing, and that bees survive. They survive unmanaged. They do. Those are facts. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what the climate. Honeybees only live in a certain range of climate. No one in Alaska is going to see my video and go, "Oh wow, yeah," or but honeybees do live practically everywhere. So, what's climate have to do with the fact that selection is a thing? Is it from a reputable source? Again, that's just up for debate. Am I reputable? Nah, maybe not. But anybody could be. It's your opinion. It's your fucking opinion, really. Can you fact check it? Well, all these things, you got to remember, all these things that she's saying also apply back to herself also. Can we fact check that just no feral bees live in the whole landmass of New Zealand? I don't know how you would even be so bold as to make such a dumb statement, but okay. No, we can't fact check it. And it's not, and as far as the country, that's not how the United States is. So nothing, if everything Sarah C's Bees says would be totally invalid here. So I just should never listen to her, I guess, just because it's not valid here. We don't have the same climate. I don't know. This is just a weird post. So here we rehash this. Oh, and we have emojis too. We got all kind of crying and praying. And in New Zealand, honeybee colonies die within 1 to 2 years if left untreated for varroa. Which ones? The ones like that that's how you've kept them alive year after year after year? Yeah, what do you expect? Of course. Sometimes it's so bad that even when we treat, they still die. That's the part that I like. That's funny because that just shows you what a terrible state of beekeeping, of what these people are doing to the bees. It's so bad that even all their attempts to save them don't save them. So what's their way of fixing that? Just keep treating more and more, and to tell people who are actually selecting for better genetics and survival, to tell them that they're doing something and to post them and try to make them look stupid. This account, which is me, is telling the world that feral colonies are totally fine without treatment, and in fact is calling us out as dum-dums for saying anything different. I'm saying that feral colonies exist and live for years. It's very common, and they swarm many times, and that can be a source of good bees. And I say that anyone who thinks that bees die every year, yeah, they're dum-dums. Yeah, they're idiotic. Please don't believe everyone on the internet. Well, that's obvious. Of course you don't want to believe everyone. Goofy comments. Does the ape crack? I really don't know where that stuff comes from, but I wouldn't be surprised if it comes from over there. So let's go to these comments here because it gets real weird in here. How do you even get to the comments? I hate Instagram. It says I can add a comment, but how do I get to the comments? Maybe I scroll down here. Let's try this. Huh? How the heck do you do it? It says I can add a comment, but where are the comments? Let me try something else. How do I... Are the comments gone or what? Sorry, not only is my mouse not really working that well, but I'm not used to looking at Instagram on anything but my phone. But this post is liked by 32 people. Okay, where the hell? How do I go back? Let me try this here. Okay, here it is, right? There's the okay, here we're going to hit the comments. Why won't it go down? Yeah, it won't even. I might have to read them off my phone. Yeah, I'm not really sure how the heck. All right, let me see if I can read them off my phone. Did I just start? I started 30 minutes ago, but you know, it can go as long as it has to. I mean, Pete Grigley's here. You saw on Instagram that thing that I sent you. Here, let me have. Now I got to go on here. I got to go on my phone and read it because I cannot seem to figure out. Let me just try one more time. Where would they be? Where would the comments be on here? If I hit that, does that do it? No. How about go to post? Let me try that one. Is that the one? Okay, so maybe it's on here. Yeah, there it is. All right, thank goodness. I guess I just had it on like the preview or something. Okay, so if we're following the right side here. I don't think Pete Grigley got to see this part. So as soon as I see this, I immediately don't want to be hidden. So I tell whoever's reading this is my account. You didn't have to cover my name. Anyone who wants to discuss or debate this is welcome to call my podcast and do so. I said ignoring selection is so 1863. I was half asleep when I typed that, but it is what I mean. Like, that's before Darwin explained to the world what evolution by natural selection was. It was sometime around then. It might have been 65, 68. I don't know. Oh, yeah. So here's what Lex is saying. Lex says, I've been trying to find research on feral colonies in New Zealand, and I'm not coming up with much. It's not clear to me, or it's not clear to me. It's been well cited. Well, that's exactly what I did. I started, there's just not a lot about New Zealand at all. I did find a couple accounts of treatment free operations in New Zealand, and I sent them messages because I'm like, you people can keep bees without treatment, and I just haven't got anything back yet. I don't know. There's a time difference, and it hasn't been that long, but maybe they'll get back to me and I can ask them to come on. But this comment section is something. So Tweak, wait, let me go to the replies to my comment. Tweak E, whoever the hell this is. Oh God, there's so many. Like, how do you even unpack a fucking comment like this? Well, I'm gonna try. Tweak E says selection is great, but I'm not aware of anyone being truly successful. So right there is a problem, because what the hell does Tweak E mean by successful? Some people, that's a goalpost that can be just carted up and down the field to where you don't even know when it's going to stop. Maybe he means just, or she, or whoever the hell it is, some just in New Zealand. I mean, if we're going to be stuck in New Zealand, first of all, my post wasn't about New Zealand specifically, but if this individual doesn't know about anyone truly successful, like, it's already bad enough to say successful, but truly successful, that's like saying true Christian or a true Republican or whatever. It's like the true Scotsman fallacy. First you got to define what success is for you, and then it's got to live up to whatever Tweaky thinks it is. I mean, look at what I do, just because I know myself and what I do. I keep a good number of bees. I never buy bees. I always am buried in bees. I sell as many as I possibly can just to try to get down, and I can't. I'm sitting on buckets of honey that I do move, but I'm just constantly buried in bee shit that I never pay money for. And I could make a ton more money if I quit my job and just focused on it all day, every day. But somebody like Tweaky might say, oh, wait, but you're not successful because up to half of your bees can die every year. So fucking what? But I'm not contributing to bullshit genetics. So to me, I'm success. I don't even like to use the word successful, but I'm sure as hell not struggling in any way. So to go on, Tweaky says, Plenty claim they are, but none of them proven. There is a few proven to be close, but most are just flock gathering. I'm not really sure what flock gathering is. Maybe that's a New Zealand term. I don't know. But it's again just story time. When someone says plenty claim that, well then tell me who these people are who claim this, and then not proven. Who went and tried to prove it? There are a few proven to be close. Okay, who are they? I love these things where people just don't say names or give an example. They just say shit. So Sarah sees bees. Do you have proof that your treatment-free approach will work in other countries? I almost fell over when I read that because I'm like, do you ever gaze upon what's going on anywhere else outside of New Zealand? Because holy shit, yeah, it's like asking me to prove that clouds exist. Yeah, there's full continents that don't treat. Like, well, I don't know if the whole continent of Africa doesn't treat ever, but I had South African beekeeper on here. I've spoken to so many South Africans and people in Africa that are just like treating. What the hell are you people doing over there in the United States? They don't treat at all. So, and it's not my treatment-free approach. It's just people that were, for whatever reason, never did treat, or countries and continents that have never treated. Islands like Puerto Rico, Cuba, all them. Just there's so many places who don't treat their bees and are just fine, even when they're buried in treaters all around them. So that comment was just so strange. Do I have any proof that treatment-free works in other countries? Yeah. Yeah, like too much. Fuck, that was weird. So I say, plus I was at work, so I was like getting these comments, and I had to wait hours until my break time just so I could say, sorry, I'm at work. But firstly, it's not my treatment-free approach. There's many treatment-free beekeepers in many countries. So it's just what I just said. So then I'm letting this person know that I'm getting kind of fucking annoyed by these comments. I'll do a video tonight, which I'm doing right this moment. This is what I'm doing. This is the video. So then I again say, let me know when you're ready to converse, bring whatever backup you need, because obviously Sarah sees bees can't just face interrogation on her own. She's gonna need some scientist or whoever the hell. I'm gonna look at some of those videos and then we'll probably talk about them too, because holy shit, you want to talk about obsessed with treating. Like totally, that's like how biased. It's like the ultimate of bias. If you look at just the brief scanning of that channel that she's talking about, Dr. whatever his name is, Miller, Winston, I don't know his name. So let's go back to Tweaky, because Tweaky had a lot to say. Tweaky says, there are some places in the world that have Africanized bees that survive raw. However, every non-treatment bee here simply buys new hives and claims they are the same hives. So here's what I love when people say that, because they just think that Africanized or African bees just never had a problem with raw. They're just so whatever they are. They're so small, or they swarm so much. They do all these weird things that the European bees don't do. So, but guess what? These fucking dummies don't know that when Varroa first hit the continent of Africa, they lost like a whole shit ton. They lost like 80% of their bees. That's all the bees, and that's feral and kept, and it's Africa. So there's bees everywhere. And it's probably more than that. It might even been 85, 90%. So it's because they took that absolute slam of death of mites for a couple years that now they don't treat at all. They couldn't really do it then. And now they don't have any reason ever to. But these people love to say that just Africanized bees just automatically are Varroa resistant. No, that they have the same shit that any other bee would have. The same selection would work for both of them. So Giovisky, comes in, tries to, I don't know, maybe tries to stick up for me a little bit. Maybe he means treating with chemicals. I know some beekeepers that are using organic solutions. If you ask them if they treat, they say no. But in fact, they are treating. I agree with that. Yeah, they're just treaters. They're just using some weird something they call natural because it's in plants somewhere. Formic acid and other alternatives. It's working well in some places overseas. So I wanted to quickly make it clear that no, I answered no. It's not that at all. That's not what I mean. That's at the bottom. Tweaky's back again. I don't know who the hell this person is. I don't think they had any beekeeping content. I need to hold on. Oh yeah, I need to interview BeFit. I couldn't handle that. I could not handle BeFit. I could not handle Fitbit beekeeping on here. I get out of breath just listening to just that those idiots over there. It's just thousands of words per minute just flying at you, making no sense at all. Just fucking regurgitated bee book nonsense and wrong. And they did talk about me in a couple of videos ago, which is funny, but that'll be in another video. But no, I could probably never have more than 3-minute conversation. Plus, there's nothing to talk about. They're dumb. They don't even know what the hell they're doing. Let's see. Oh, so here's fun. Here's the part that really kind of like, doesn't piss me off. It just displays how stupid people are. And how like their position is so I don't even know what the word is. My vocabulary is shot. There is a group of people who think that letting hives die will magically create varroa-resistant bees and save the world. So that was the sentence that whoever the hell this clown is, Tweaky says. I gotta say that again because it's so fucking dumb. There is a group of people who think that letting hives die will magically create varroa-resistant bees and save. That sounds like something a bee researcher I know would say. It's just weird language. No, it's called treatment-free beekeepers. They don't just think that letting hives die. It's just that we can accept that there's a thing called selection, and we enjoy beekeeping, and we don't sit there and throw up crybaby tear emojis every time and play sad violin music every time we see a varroa mite. It's just that statement is just so like annoying. Of course, it doesn't work like that. However, I think there's a few running proper breeding programs in remote areas, but you won't see them telling people not to treat. Just tell me some names. Just say something. I don't know. But yeah, that weird magic bee save the world comment was just so fucking dumb. Sarah sees bees. I don't mind what you treat with or how you do it, but leaving them to die when there are options is horrific. Another emoji. Like, calm down with the emojis. God damn. It's not horrific. You're not leaving them to die. I very rarely just see colonies die. When they die, it's usually in wintertime. During normal beekeeping season, spring, summer, fall, I really don't see any colonies die. Unless one, fails to requeen and it gets away from me and now it's laying workers or something, and I shake them out. Did they die really? That colony didn't continue, but where are these bees just dropping dead like during the normal beekeeping season? You got to have some serious problems if your bees are just dropping dead during bee time. If they're gonna die on me, it's during the winter, or at some point mid fall or late fall, and they get robbed for some reason. It's like, what the fuck are these people saying? Like, what is the matter with them to think that we're just sitting there watching bees die? It's these people that are just interrupting every little possible thing and think they're helping. They're not helping. They're making things worse. Tweak E says, keeping I don't know. I'll try to fill this in, make it make sense. You can do treatment free if you get rid of all the mites and there's no hives around to get mites from. Example, West Coast. But someone brings hives in the area and you're back to treating. Who does that? So then now this person's just making stuff up. And here comes Barley Moon Botanicals. So true. So weird. So I don't know what they mean. Maybe West Coast of New Zealand. I don't know. Maybe there's no mites over there. That's just, it's not a reality to think that you killed every single varroa mite and then there's just no bees around you to get mites from. I just don't. Hold on, there was something else here that had me. Let me see. There's not a. Okay, here it is. Sarah C's B says, "That's not cool. It just it annoys me that this guy is telling people bees are fine by themselves." I gotta know how long this individual's been keeping bees, and just she probably just got started right into treating and crying and using emojis and all kind of sad violin music just right away, and just never had a chance to use a real scientific mind, learn about evolution and selection, and just really thinks of bees as these helpless farm white chickens or these helpless white turkeys in a giant building that just need every possible thing handed to them. That's bees to them. They're the worst people. These people are the worst. So Tweak E wants to go on personal attacks here. There's a lot of assholes out there who like to set people up for failure. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I would love to just I'm just a psychopath who just wants to set people up for failure. That's stupid. Over a post about a swarm coming out of a tree, really? Beginning beekeepers are often exploited, so be careful who you listen to. Trust me, there's not too many beginning beekeepers I can even deal with. I mean, I do deal with some that I can tell tried to learn something before they got bees, but so many beginning beekeepers fuck everything up just learning the conventional way. They mess everything up. It has nothing to do with whether you're treatment free or not. New beekeepers fuck everything up a lot of times. I did too. So this person says, that nice, sweet talking person isn't always your friend. Well, thank you for that. It's probably not talking about me, but I've been known to sweet talk. Oh, it absolutely F me off. I get grief constantly because I stand up to them and look after beginners. That's what Tweaky says. I'll get to Pete's comments in a minute here. But because here's my favorite part. With people like this guy around, they definitely need all the help they can get. Weird heart emoji eyes. I don't know what's. So I tell Tweaky, come on my live stream and let's hear about it. Message me a date and time and I'll set it up. So they're all invited. They're all invited to come on here. Maybe it'll be a future episode. I don't know what the fuck's up with Tweaky or this doctor. I'll watch some of his videos, but New Zealand isn't the whole planet. I don't claim that I'm telling New Zealand or the whole world anything. I'm telling you about the United States, definitely, because I'm definitely Pennsylvania. And many places. There's many places there's whole groups about tree log beekeeping. Do you think they're treating them fucking tree logs? No. They're all over. They're in every country. They're all over Europe. Africa, like just everywhere they're keeping bees with no treatments. And they're doing just fine. They're doing fine. Are they making millions of dollars as a commercial beekeeper? No. That's not their thing. Not everybody has the same thing. but commercial beekeepers and this one here that I'm talking about tonight, this New Zealand beekeeper, like they're so full of themselves. They just think that everybody has to act like a commercial beekeeper. Fuck commercial beekeepers. I can't stand them. Let's see. So Pete has the same experience I have. I never had a colony die to mites during the season. It's always in winter. Yeah, what the hell? I've never seen. I've seen some crawlers. I've seen some colonies just have mites, but these people saying, "Oh, it's just doomed because I see mites on the bees." I don't know. I've seen many ones like that perfectly survive perfectly fine. So benefit of doubt here. They may just be extremely uneducated. They just don't know this world exists. So, hey, I can get behind that. Uneducated is a nice way of saying it. They might just be uneducated, but I think even if you're uneducated, you gotta know when to just shut the fuck up. And yeah, because I'm a sweet talker, and I'll sweet talk people. I think that's it for these people. I could go into a couple other situations I had, but I don't want to make this too long. It's already too long, but I want to have it nice and digestible. Oh, you know what? Let me put the link up here just for the hell of it. Probably maybe like 10 minutes. Well, if anybody wants to come in, we can throw some final words in here. Bloop. There's that. Let me see. What's this page doing? Yeah, so go ahead. Follow me on Instagram, everybody. They pay nothing. You make no money on Instagram. It's a total waste. Oh, shoot. I don't want ad tools. I got almost 10,000 followers there. I actually was very close to 10,000, and then I didn't post for a long time. And then went down. Let me see. While I wait to see if anybody wants to come in, I could look at Facebook's real quick. Let's see. I don't even know if I'm logged in over there. Please don't show my password. Facebook, just go in. All right, yeah, there's me. How do I share this? Oh, crap. Hold on 1 second. All right. Facebook's doing good over here. What do I have here? This month, I had, if you look over here on the right side, let me see, is it showing my mouse? 4,509,000 post reaches. I had a video with almost 3 million views. I don't want to look at it like this. I want to look at it like the way a person looking at it would look at it. Oh, this video is still doing good. I don't know. If you're on Facebook, go look at me over there. But all right, let's see what Pete got going on. All right, that was a total waste of time putting my stupid crap up here. What's up, Pete? What did you think about it? You kind of came in late, but you did see this this post. I sent you a message earlier in the day. I'm like, check this individual out. What do you think?
Can you hear me all right first? I got new
Yeah,
headphones.
you're actually a little bit louder than me, so you can actually just talk a little bit.
So I don't have Instagram, so I kind of saw like a couple of screenshots you saw, that you sent me. It seems that they're just like totally oblivious that this whole section of beekeeping exists, you know, like just dumbfounded that they just have no idea or what. I don't know. That's what it seems to me. They're just totally, like I said before, totally uneducated, almost. But the thing is, to be uneducated about it and then go and like talk shit online about it, like you know something about it. That's what doesn't make sense. You know?
Yeah, I mean, to tell somebody who's who obviously does the thing and is out there doing it all the time. It's really strange. I think the way they see non-treating is the same way that, say, people in South Africa see treating. They're just baffled by it. Like I was talking to a lady, um, I forget, it was on a YouTube channel. Was it South Africa? I don't think she's in South Africa. I don't know what part of Africa she's in, but I was just asking about it. Or she was commenting on my videos where I was talking about treating, and she's just saying like, "What do you mean by treating? What are you saying?" And I say, "Well, people treat," and she just was like, "Wow, that's so strange. We just don't do that here. We never do that." And I
Yeah.
think it's just what these New Zealanders are like, but I don't know.
I mean, like me, I've never I've never treated, I've never bought any chemicals, never even thought about treating. So it's kind of foreign to me too, So like that part of the beekeeping is foreign to me,
Oh,
But I wouldn't go around like um telling people how to treat, or like telling them one treatment's better than the other or stuff like that, That's what's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
you know what
They're,
my
they're
biggest
talking about something they don't know about, pretty much.
you know my biggest thing is, why I always get annoyed by these people is I can sit here and say, hey, you know what? I don't hate treaters, like people who treat their bees. That's perfectly fine if you want to treat your bees. Like there's some people are in a business where they can't deal with those kind of so they can't deal with culling and selection like I can, who when I don't depend on that money. So I can sit here and say, fine, treat your bees, and just and not be mad about it, because as long as those treating people understand that they can treat their bees and be happy, but they have to understand that people who aren't treating their bees and who are selecting and who are not contributing to the problem aren't hurting aren't hurting them. That we could get along and just know that the other person does something different, and not come into their comment section saying all kind of weird shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the part that's a little weird, to come in and start talking crap on something obviously they have no idea about.
Well,
So
Ronnie said, "Did I see what Australia did about mites?" Um, you were talking about? I don't know. They can't decide. Last thing I heard was they stopped killing everybody's.
they're burning hives and stuff, or killing bees off that had mites, or what?
They were killing everything that was in the zone. You know, in a Varroa zone, they just killed everything. They just had everyone scheduled and were just killing them, just burning them all up. Um, and then again,
Wow.
I don't know how in the world they would control the feral con. I guess they were putting poison out to feed stations with all kinds of bee killing stuff. They were killing everything, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just stopped. So I think they're just gonna go treating. They're just gonna start treating now. They're gonna not learn anything
Yeah, it
from
is
the
so
whole
stupid.
world who's been through it, and they're just gonna start at the beginning when they could just import a bunch of American, the best they could get over here, or Canada, or wherever, or Africa, or wherever. Probably not. They probably don't want to hybridize African bees, but they could import a ton of really good survivor stock and just at least start where we're at instead of starting at the beginning. But they're
Yeah.
probably going to keep their borders so tight, and they just want to start at the beginning, like, for no reason. So who knows what they're doing? I don't know. I guess I did see some video earlier today of, was that on YouTube, or it might have been, or Facebook or something, but they were focusing on one emerging bee coming out of a cell that was all wrinkled up, wings were all wrinkled up, it was all deformed, but it was so focused in, the camera was that was the only bee they showed coming out of a cell, and then the video was over. But the comments were, "Oh my god, that whole colony's dead. Oh, I'd burn that thing." And I'm like, "Wow, you seriously just looked at one bee and said the whole colony's dead?" That can happen in any colony.
You should see my yard in the late summer. All the
Yeah,
crawlers with shriveled wings.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I have that every year too. For some reason, last year I didn't have that at all. It was a really
Some
weird year.
years, yeah. Some years I don't have as bad.
But I mean, there was definitely selection going on over this past winter, but I'm already done a bunch of removals. Um, just can't. I mean, it's raining for the next 6 or 7 days, rainy and
Yeah.
cold. So that gives me a nice little break to like make frames and scrape old frames and stuff. But holy hell, once that sun comes back out, I hope I have a couple days off because it's just gonna be I'm gonna be like a pinball running around.
Yeah. 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 I haven't got much calls yet. Um, I got one call so far. So it's been a weird spring. We had that stretch of cold weather for a few weeks, really cold and rainy, and then it warmed up for like the last 2 weeks. And like I had some of my colonies trying to swarm. Um, but then it kind of like leveled off. It was weird. Yeah. And I haven't got much calls. There's been a few here and there, but not much so far. I got a
Yeah.
feeling after next week, when it warms up, I got a feeling that's when everything's gonna kind of blow up.
Yeah, I mean you're a couple weeks behind us, but yeah, Ronnie's almost out of equipment. I wouldn't say I'm out of equipment, but I'm kind of like at the point where I do not want to go up into the 80s again with colonies again. I just want to stay. I just want to stay in the 50s and 40s. And people are picking up bees. They're picking up, a good number. But yeah, I gotta get rid of more of them, or I'm just gonna be combining some, in the fall. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Where am I gonna put them all? I can't even give them away. I mean, I wish I could take them over to New Zealand or something and just set them loose. But I just don't know what the hell to do with them. I'm gonna end up having tons of bees in boxes and supers that I'm not gonna be able to harvest because I just want to like I don't want to be a commercial beekeeper. I still have my job and I got all my other shit I got to do. I don't want to be a full-time beekeeper. I want to do it because I like doing it in my spare time, but I still do love going out chasing them bees. What's up? We got Tim in the house, Timifer in there. You're catching the tail end because I'm just getting ready to get out of here. Because I'm just tired too. Plus, I got to get up in a
Did,
couple hours.
did I send you how to watch the end of that BFit video? Did you
Yeah,
hear that them?
yeah. Should I play it?
Did you hear what I was talking about?
Something about the BFit. They're so on BFit at the last couple minutes that goofball horrible beekeeper, whatever he called himself, the terrible beekeeper he calls himself. He said something like oh, you guys are, what did he say? Something about the comment section. He's like,
He had to
this
take a
work.
break because comments and people making videos about him, and
You took a break
um,
because of me. Wow. Yes.
that's what I gathered. Who knows if it's 100%? Obviously, he didn't mention you by name, but
He said so many
um,
dumb things. I can't. That video is well over. What is it? 2 hours long or something like that. There's no way I could sit
oh
through
my
that.
god, I had it playing throughout the day at work, driving around between jobs in my work van. I was listening here and there, and like some of the weird like tidbits he just says, like, "Hey,
Well,
listen to
here.
this, guys. Make sure you don't do this, or make sure you do this," and like these weird ass like statements of fact that are like, "What are you
He
talking
said,
about?"
"Do you remember the part where he said something like, hey, for anybody watching, I'm going to collect all this wax. I'm not going to leave the wax laying around because I know it's going to make wax moths. It's going to attract wax moths." He
Yeah,
thinks that throwing little bits of comb into the grass is going to attract wax moths. What's the matter? How no, wax moths are not going to come after your yard because you have wax in the grass. That's not what they do. Oh my god,
yeah,
man! I'm just like, wow, this dude's serious. But that's for another episode. I don't want to drag this out too long. But
yeah.
yeah, wow, what a joke. Um,
And then he said something about why they started treating too. It was like there's some rules and regulations that we have to follow, so that's why we have to treat our pollination hives or something like
nah,
that.
he's full of shit. He doesn't. They think that nobody watching is an actual beekeeper, and I think I'm that channel's mostly just the audience is just simps. It's a bunch of old men simps. Even there's like well-known beekeepers just simping in there. Great great video. You know, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
None of their videos are great. They're all trash. So it's all simps. So they just think that they can just say anything, and nobody knows the actual truth. They still didn't answer the question about sending their colonies to California. Like, they said, "Oh, the bees are back from California." Motherfucker, you never sent no bees to California. They're just lying. It's just such a joke. It's clickbait junk. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. It's good to see Tim again in there. Thanks for coming in, Pete. I'm gonna kick us both out of here. Have a good night, everyone. See you on the next one.
See ya.